how was practice Monday?
We were off Monday.
How was practice Tuesday?
Great.
Okay.
Practice was great. See, I'll hopefully have another great day today.
How do you get ready to face two different teams, either Tulsa or SMU?
I think the worst mistake you can make as a coach this time of year is worrying about your opponent. So you finally get a chance to just spend a week worrying about your own team. And you know, teams that you play every year, two, 3 times a year possibly, it shouldn't be that hard to prepare for them. You know, I would hope that, you know, whichever team we play, when we go to give our guys their personnel, they're going to remember them. And, you know, they're very different because Tulsa plays 1-2-2 zone and SMU does different things. You know, they play man mostly. But anyway, it's not a day game, so we'll have a shoot around. But I don't think it should be that big of an issue. So yeah, no, we use this week to worry about ourselves. This is a great time to just self-scout Sunday night, Monday, and try to figure out the areas where we need to improve as a basketball team. And that's what Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is about for us.
Obviously, there's a lot of pluses to being the 1 seed, but you mentioned it's not a day game that you have on Friday, so there's some benefit to being the 2 seed as well.
Again, you know, maybe. I mean, you're assuming it's a benefit to play at night. I'd rather take made shots, personally. You know, now if game time dictates whether you make shots, then I'll take whatever game time we're going to make shots.
But getting a shoot around and maybe having a little time to look at the scouting report?
Yeah, but I mean, if we were going to play early, then your opponent would play early. So, you know, you'd have all day that night. You know, you'd have all night that night. So, again, I'm more worried about making some shots in March than shoot-arounds and game times. Made shots cures a lot of things in basketball.
Are there any keys or things that you've picked up on that you feel like end up being more important or different in these types of, you know, time-of-day settings?
Nah, again, you know, I think this time of year, you are who you are. You're not going to all of a sudden change your style of play and who you are. You got to make sure you get back to being who you are and be really good at it. And that's what's going to help you advance. You're not going to advance trying to be somebody you're not, which is what happened to us on Sunday. We got to make sure we can't try to be things that we're not. We got to make sure that we got to play Bearcat basketball, win, lose, or draw. If we focus on doing the things that we do around here that have won us games around here, and we focus on getting the right guys' shots, playing defense the way we need to play, and always have played defense, rebounding the way we've always rebounded. We worry about that stuff, and we have our chance to advance. Again, I'd love to have some made shots too, but you know, you got to play Bearcat basketball. Bearcat basketball has been successful here for a long time, and that's what we got to make sure we're doing. So you know, whether with the game time and all that stuff, I don't know.
Do you have a different talk with a guy like Keith, who you've talked about in some of these games last year, getting it in or didn't play many minutes, whereas this year he's going to have to play a lot more?
You mean talk about?
Like what to expect in this type of situation?
Yeah, like I think that you don't make more of it than it is. It's, you know, postseason play is a basketball game. But in March you go home if you lose. So it can't be, you know, we do things, whether it's a shooting drill, you know, you got to make this amount or we're going to just keep doing it. Because if you can't do it, because if I want them to understand, like, little things we do mentally in drills, like that you're going to lose and you're going home. Your season's over. So you're knocked out of the tournament. You don't play again. You know, it's not AAU where these guys they all play 6 games every weekend. You lose, you go home. So it's not okay. We got to hold each other to a higher standard of accountability in March. You have to. And you can't try to be somebody you're not. You got to be better at who you are. So if you're a rebounder, if you're a passer, if you're a scorer, Collectively, as a defensive team, you got to be better at. You got to know who you are, and you got to be better at who you are. And if you do that, and the way, you know, for us, if we play Bearcat basketball and try to play it to the best of our ability, we have a chance. It works.
How resilient are your guys? I mean, this is the first time you've lost 2 in a row. You've recovered before.
Yeah, I don't make too much of that. You know, we had a really hard schedule. I mean, these guys have been for this team to win 25 games and to win the road games they won in our league with guys that didn't the guys that didn't get in those type of games last year. You know, battles on the road, and they weren't even in the game really. And for them guys to be able to grind out wins the way they did, they've been resilient all year. Again, I would tell you, you know, I know you guys got to ask all those questions. The answer is not winning and losing, or whether it's do your job, do it right, play the game the right way, and don't stray from who we are, from the values of who we are, and what has got us victorious. If you do that, you'll win games. But if you stray from it, that's what happened to us at Houston. I mean, we could easily won. We got a tough whistle at Central Florida, made a few mistakes late. We could have won that game on the road against a team that was playing great on senior night. It would have been an unbelievable win because we stayed true to who we were. We got away from it Sunday. We got to make sure we get back to it. That's all I care about. We play Bearcat basketball, win, lose, or draw. I'm proud of our team. It's worked for us for a long time.
What pulls a team out of it this late in the season? Is it fatigue? Is it the grind of the year?
Pulls it, what do you mean pulls?
Like that causes you to stray from what you've done.
Well, you know, senior day could cause that. Houston making shots could cause that. Being overexcited could cause that. You know, those types of things. You know, you start to think you're playing, you know, you're scoring points early, and all of a sudden we're going to win a shootout, which played into their hands. You know, I don't think that should be to our advantage because it was a great learning lesson at the right time. And it's up for us now to learn from it. You got to learn from it. That's what pulls you out. You got to learn from it. You got to know who you are in sports. You're not going to win trying to be somebody else. You just have to. You just focus on those things.
In your opinion, how has Jarron Cumberland's game evolved from his freshman year to now?
Well, Jaren's always had talent. He's always been confident. The evolution is not that complicated. You're playing against high school players, so it's a lot easier. And you give him all the credit. And obviously, you know, we got great guys on our staff that have been helping him. As we know, he's changed his body dramatically. His work habits have changed tremendously. He's made adjustments. He had more charges his freshman year than any player I've ever coached. Now he rarely gets a charge. So he's learned a lot. He's been very coachable. But he's always had the talent. He just had to adjust his game to who he was playing against at this level. But his work ethic has gone through the roof. His commitment level to his taking care of his body, to changing his body, all that stuff. So he's evolved immensely. He's a better defender. He's a better rebounder. He's a better passer. He shoots a higher percentage. All because experience. But at the end of the day, he's got talent. There's no substitute for talent. And he's a competitor.
What does it mean to you as a coach when someone comes in and says, hey, Jaren is going to win Player of the Year?
Oh, extremely happy for him. You know, whenever you have a guy that goes from sixth man as a freshman to Player of the Year as a junior, there's a lot of people that helped him do that. So, you know, he's a byproduct of your program, you know, from A to Z. That from your head coach, your assistant, strength coach, training, all the stuff that helped him grow as a player. But ultimately, and we're in a business of helping kids. So you're happy for him. It's great. Obviously, it's great for your program, but it's great for him. Stuff like that. I think for these kids, they don't really realize it until, and they won't until they get older. You know, his parents will, but until they get older, and you know, you have a family, you have kids, and you know, hopefully in his case, you got 2 Player of the Year awards in the Americans sitting there, or you know, you come back and your jersey's hanging on a wall, and you're one of the all-time leading scorers, and you got a mural on the wall in the practice gym, stuff like that. It don't matter when they're older. But you know, our program, we take a lot of pride in everything that goes on here. But it's 2 straight years for us.
So what does that say about your program? 2 different players.
Player development. You know, I think if you recruit good kids that'll put in the work, like Gary and Jaren, then they have a chance. But they gotta have talent. But I like to give the kids all the credit, because you know, we coach them all the same. Some guys become better players; they just have more talent, and also some guys have more. They work harder. They're more committed and more dedicated. Jaren's dedication to his craft has really grown, because he was a gifted guy, and high school basketball came pretty easy to him. He really learned how to work as time went on. Really, over the light came on for him in the last year about dedication level.
You ever had a player as good as him who is as hesitant to talk about himself as he is?
Well, Gary was pretty soft-spoken, but I think Jaren's got him beat on that. Yeah, I think Jaren's definitely got him beat on that. You got it.